Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today we'll be talking about how do I modify my crankbaits and why. Alright, first one that I want to go over with, it's from Live Target Yearling. This is a great crankbait I've been using for a couple of months now. It catches fish, but what a lot of people do is when they say they're gonna modify crankbait, what they do is they'll just change the hooks. But I take it a few steps farther. As you see, some of the color, it's fading away, and this crankbait, it's actually pretty light, so it's when it's in windy conditions, it's pretty hard to cast. And I did a little bit of research, and I came across tungsten powder. What I do with these is I'll grab a spoon. I actually have it in there. I've been using it for a week or two. And I'll put it on a plate or something, and I'll use epoxy. And when I put it up, this. And I'll use epoxy. What I do is I'll just put a little bit of epoxy on the tungsten. I'll stir it up, and I'll just apply it on the belly of the lure. It almost works as the stick-on lead tapes, but what I noticed with the lead tape is, since these have a clear coat on top of them, and when you bang it on the rocks, and after a while the tape peels off. And what I do is I'll just put it on the bottom, and sometimes, in this case, like this is from Lucky Craft, and this one, it's impossible to cast with the bait caster. I'll try using it with the spinner. It was a little bit better, but when it's windy, you can't cast this even if your life depends on it. And this one has an orange belly. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a layer, a thick layer of tungsten powder on it, and then after it dries out, I'll just repaint the whole thing orange again, so that way the color's still gonna be there. You won't even be able to tell when it's done. So let's get to it. And I'm gonna do just one in front of the camera. And what you want to do is, since I have 4 lures to modify, with all 4 lures you want to use 4 different brushes. The reason for it being is, as soon as you use one, and the epoxy dries up pretty fast, so you're fighting the time. And epoxy itself will add some weight to them. You don't need much weight to them anyways, just a tiny bit. And I bought these from a hobby shop. I think they were like $5 or whatever. And I'll just clip the tip of it. and I'll let her dry out. On this one I painted the whole lure, covered the whole lure because it's a real small one, and I already didn't like the color. I just left the top on it. Later on I'm gonna carve out the eyes and repaint the whole lure different color. But now this one will be a pretty heavy lure. I'll think it'll be a little bit over 7 grams, so I can cast it pretty far, and it worked great against walleye and smallmouth. I'll just leave them overnight. And the other thing with some of these lures is I didn't like the hooks, and I'll change the hooks on them and after I repainted them. And also for this one, for the live target, every time I catch a fish I notice that the paint is chipping. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put another layer of epoxy, so that way the paint is not gonna come out that easy. Same thing with the Lucky Craft. I mean, I only caught like 6 fish on it, and one of them was a pike. I don't know if you guys can see. You just scrape the cover off of it. So when you put a clear coat or epoxy, the paint is not gonna get damaged. It's just maybe the epoxy is gonna get a little bit of scarring. But what you can do is you can grab a buffer and just buff it out, and it'll look nice and shiny. Guys, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more